Hello, everybody. This is Mr. Music. How's everybody doing today? Welcome to another album ranking. Today, I'm going over Boston's Aerosmith. So, excellent band. They've been around for quite a long time, and their lead singer Steven Tyler. You have Joe Perry and Brad Whitford on guitar. They also have Tom Hamilton on bass and Joey Kramer on drums. So we're going to go and go over the studio albums of Aerosmith. Just to let you know, in these rankings, I don't include live albums or compilations, just the studio output. Um, Before we start, if you like the video, click the like button. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. And also, you can click the bell to get notifications of future videos that come up here. Okay. Anyway, appreciate the fact that you're here watching. Let's welcome Aerosmith to the stage. All right. So we're going to start with the album here. This is going to be Just Push Play, released in 2001. What can I say about this album? Not much. I just did not. I didn't really get it. When I would listen to it, I barely got through it. I think the one of the songs that was real popular on this album was "Jaded." It didn't do anything for me, but if I were to pick a song on here that I like, I would say probably uh, "Beyond Belief," which is the lead off track. Okay, so next we have from 2012, we have Music from Another Dimension. Um, this album is pretty interesting, but then again, I've basically the first song on the album with the little nod to Outer Limits, that old famous TV show from the 60s. Uh, Other than that, which is the song Love XXX, I didn't find much on this album to really like. The other song that I actually thought was pretty good was "Oh Yeah." That was not too bad. Okay, next we have from 2004, Aerosmith's blues album, "Hooked on Bobo." And this pretty much has the standard blues fare you would expect. You've got Roadrunner, Baby Please Don't Go. They did Shame, Shame, Shame. Good stuff. Not really bad. I think they did a decent job with the blues. They didn't, they didn't really break any new ground, but it was interesting. Next, we have Rock in a Hard Place from 1982. This particular album, well, this is the one that basically does not have Joe. It's the only Aerosmith album that does not have Joe Perry on here playing guitar. So to take his place, Jimmy Crespo was guitar on this album. Couple of tracks that stand out for me on this is Lightning Strikes, and another track on here, which is actually surprisingly pretty good. I thought Steven Tyler did an excellent job on this, was the standard Crimea River. Great tune. I mean, when I first heard it, I was like, wow. He really did a good job. So that, if you've never heard that song by Aerosmith, check it out. It's actually pretty good, at least in my opinion. Next, we have Permanent Vacation from 1987. This really was the album that got Aerosmith back on track after some time. They had battled their some issues, drug abuse, and at this point they had just gotten out of rehab. They were sober. Permanent Vacation was just like I would say probably the second half of Aerosmith, because as far as album sales, it really did good on there. I can probably do without ever hearing Ragdoll or Dude Looks Like a Lady again, but I do like the lead off track, which is Hearts Down Time. Next, we have from 1997, Nine Lives. Uh, Pretty cool album. Standout tracks on this one actually is the lead up track Nine Lives, which is pretty cool. It's got that little like meow sound at the beginning. You'll love that. And then another song that is really interesting on here is Taste of India. Excellent. Okay, next we have from 1993, Get a Grip. Uh, and This is this is pretty good hard rock music. I think after Permanent Vacation, they wanted to get a little bit heavier. So this album was out there after, well, actually Pump came, but then this album after that, Get a Grip. You have Eat the Rich and a pretty energetic version of the song Fever. Okay, from 1985, Done with Mirrors. Now this is probably the album that that it's the first album that the original Aerosmith got back together again. They were sober, and some fine tracks on this. It starts off with Lightning. It starts off with My Fist Your Face. It has My Fist Your Face, and another song on here called Sheila. Very good music. Check it out. And it also has the track Let the Music Do the Talking, which is actually a song on one of Joe Perry's solo albums. So Aerosmith did a version of that. Okay, next we have the debut album from 1973, Aerosmith. And of course, you've got the track that really broke them, which was Dream On. And of course, one of the other track, I think my favorite track on this album is One Way Street. Pretty interesting tune. Very kind of like a little bit of jazz, but very good. And it's, of course, good stuff on here. Okay, next we have from 1977, Draw the Line. Now, at this period of Aerosmith, like the drug abuse was really starting to affect the band, and but they came out with a pretty good album here. Standout tracks, Critical Mass, Kings and Queens, Get It Up was good. So excellent stuff on here. Check that out. They also have a blues track on here called Milk Cow Blues. All right, next we have from 1975, Toys in the Attic. And this is the one, of course, it has Sweet Emotion on here. Some of my favorite songs on here, Adam's Apple and No More, No More. Next, we have from 1979, Night in the Ruts. Some people might say I've rated this album pretty high. I thought it was actually pretty good. In fact, I like it better than Draw the Line. There were some really good tracks on here. There's a really cool blues number, Reefer Headed Woman. You have 3 Mile Smile. Think About It, which I believe was a track that the Yardbirds did. And it ends on a really beautiful ballad called Mia. Steven Tyler, not only the guy can wail, but he can really do some of the ballads that they've done are really, really nice. And I believe there's a compilation out there that kind of concentrates on some of Aerosmith's more mellow stuff. You might want to check that out. It's good. Okay, next we have from 1974, Get Your Wings. This is one of the first albums that I started listening to Aerosmith. And of course, it's got the standout tracks, Seasons of Wither, and their version of Train Kept Rollin', which starts out kind of like a studio version, and then it kicks into a live version of it. So a pretty unique track on there. Next, we have from 1989, Pump. Good stuff on here. We have songs on here that were standout for me was Young Lust, Fine, and a really nice, cool ballad, What It Takes. Steven Tyler's vocal on that is outstanding. But the Aerosmith album that stands out for me, number one, and I think this is probably number one on most of the lists of Aerosmith rankings, has to be from 1976, Rocks. I mean, what can you say? You've got Back in the Saddle. You've got tracks like Last Child, Rats in the Cellar, Combination, Sick as a Dog, Nobody's Fault, Get the Let Out, Lickin' a Promise, and another beautiful ballad from them, Home Tonight. So that's the top Aerosmith album in my ranking. Okay, everybody, hope you enjoyed that. Hopefully this gives you a chance to maybe search out some of these Aerosmith albums that maybe you haven't heard. Give them a listen. It's always fun to find some of these, and like some of the deeper tracks. That's always fun to listen to those. But check out some of the more, not so known Aerosmith albums, and leave comments in the section down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know your album rankings. I'd appreciate that. Okay. Anyway, this is Mr. Music, and take care, guys. See you next time.